The Nemo Joe
Welcome,
Show
Nemo Joe
again.
Show.
We're here again. Can't get rid of us.
You can't stop us. We're out here doing this shit. We're in here,
Like
fucking
it.
doing it live.
Amazing. Amazing how live we're doing.
It's like 1,000 orgasms.
So, uh, I had a fun
A day.
weekend.
Oh yeah, what'd you do?
Chilling at the remote burn, doing some online raves, oh, dancing it up.
Dancing it up for the people.
Definitely check out Joey Clams 420 on Twitch. If you're listening to this on SoundCloud or whatever. Got some trippy visuals for you. Jam out to.
Yeah, I checked out some of the stream. Got some pretty crazy stuff going on there. There's multiple Joes. There's Vikings, zombie Vikings, all kinds of crazy stuff.
So many Joes.
There's
One
more
might say
Joes.
even too many Joes.
I mean, it's the ultimate form of Joe. I think it's your final form. It's a Joe sandwich between another Joe, and you get a lot of that going on there.
Sandwiches between two other Joe sandwiches.
Yes, it's a Joe sandwich.
All right, so we got a lot of fun topics for you today, dear listener, dear viewer. Um, we're gonna start off by playing an indie game that some of you might have heard of. Pull up the thing real
The
quick.
game is You Are Jeff Bezos.
George Bezos.
Uh, we have the creator's name, right?
We do. It says it's right here. Chris
Chris
Ligman.
Ligman. Yeah, created this game as a cautionary tale, kind of explaining what it's like to have $156 billion. This game was made before Bezos hit the trillion mark. So,
May 15th. That's of this year, though.
yeah, I know. This game was made before that. This post was posted at this time, but it was a repost of an original game that they already made.
Gotcha.
Otherwise, I'm sure they would have accounted for the trillion.
So, it says, if you are confused why Jeff Bezos becoming a trillionaire is bad news, please play this text-based game I made, where he only has $156 billion. Only.
Yes.
So shout out to Chris Ligman.
That what is that? Something Nights, Ever Ending Nights. That's a Sega property. Anyway, are you pulling up the game? What's going on?
I am. But this is the game that lets you eat the rich from the inside.
I see what you're saying.
Right. Let's have a go at this. So we're gonna take turns narrating and we're gonna discuss our decisions together. Spend all of Jeff
Jeff
Bezos's money.
Bezos' monies.
When you wake up this morning from an unsettling dreams, you find yourself changed in your bed into a monstrous vermin.
Chained
You
to
are,
your bed.
you are Jeff Bezos.
It's probably into that. Jeff Bezos's employees are now your employees. His money is now your money. Nothing you say or will or do will convince anyone that you are not Jeff Bezos, even his closet friends and his closest friends and family. I was about to say because it's like he doesn't have real friends. What do you do? Do you go to the bathroom? Do you scream and sob with terror over this unnatural event? Or do you spend all of his fucking money?
Um,
First decision is yours, man.
feel like I went to the bathroom before, and that's what I would normally do. But for the sake of time, I said we just spend all his fucking money.
Let's spend that money.
Uh, Jeff Bezos' current wealth is displayed on the left. Below are some things you might consider spending it on. Pay off student loan debt, which is 1.5 trillion, which he doesn't have at this point. Uh, repair Puerto Rico, 139 billion. Pay for the border wall and then not build it, 70 billion. Pay personal taxes, 57.7 billion. Hire 10,000 new teachers for 4 years each, 22.4 billion. End homelessness in the United States, 20 billion.
A lot of good choices there. I mean, if you want to go for exclusively just spending the most money as you can at once, there's the border wall plan and not building it. But I don't know. What do you care about most? Or did you choose last time? Is it my turn?
Yes.
Is it my turn to choose?
Well, we could discuss it, but I'll leave the final decision to you.
Let's just start out by ending homelessness.
A good one.
It's end
Everybody gets a
homelessness.
house.
It's the lowest hanging fruit. Let's go ahead and get that.
You get a house. All right. So what happens?
You eliminate homelessness in the United States. Every person living in the US now has the guarantee of a roof over their head. This costs you 20 billion or a trivial 12.8% of your starting net worth. You still have 136 billion dollars to go. I'll soon change that. This is the only option anyway, you know.
You get a phone call on your personal line from your main financial advisor. Apparently distressed. You ignore it.
Nice.
So we got the choices left: the border wall, personal taxes, hire 100,000 teachers, 4 years, or what else?
I mean, if it was me, I would choose teachers, but it's up to you, man.
All right, let's do the teachers. You hired 100,000 new teachers for a median salary of $58,000, covering their salary for the first 4 years of their hire. This comes in at around 22.4 billion for you, or about a third of the annual U.S. education budget. In an interview, Betsy DeVos praises your actions as the free market in action. In response,
Oh,
you lure her off to a remote area, the upper Midwest, promising to show her a designer mansion with 5 different styles of windows. When she gets there, all she finds is an abandoned shack without plumbing and a distinct lack of yachts.
because
A
it's
plus
a
plus.
sham and she's a sham. Jamming it up. Twitter is lighting up with liberals praising your good deeds with the hashtag Bezos is Bay. Leftists still hate you though. Still got the two choices and what else? Let's go ahead and hit the ones that are going off top right now. With let's build that wall and not actually build the wall.
Pay for the U.S. border wall. High, high end estimates place construction costs at $70 billion. So you just cut the check for that. After the
Of
deal is
course,
done, you send all the workers on paid holiday and donate construction materials to actually worthy projects around the country. Any leftover funds are put towards dismantling ICE. Nice.
Ice. Mark Zuckerberg unfriends you. An architect of the Iraq War is painting a op-ed on a newspaper you do not control, explaining why your actions are consistent with neoliberalism and there is no cause for alarm. Peter Thiel knocks tentatively at your door, asking if there isn't something you like to maybe get a coffee and talk about. You ignore him. What else can we spend our money on?
Good job disseminating a rich man's wealth so far. By the way, you've gone from 156 billion to a mere 46.6 billion in a few clicks of a button. You could manufacture guillotines. If only you could manufacture guillotines this season.
Right?
So, our choices are fund NASA for a year, 20 billion, double every Amazon employee's salary, 15.8 billion, support 10,000 artists and residents for 4 years each, 2 billion, abolish the electoral college, 380 million, pay back taxes to the EU, 293 million.
Let's fix the electoral college, bro. It seems like the biggest one on the list here.
One of the cheaper ones too.
I'm saying it's effective and it's cost effective.
Sorry.
Strictly speaking, the only thing necessary to abolish a United States electoral college is the vote and ratification of three-fourths of the Union, or 38 states. And politicians uh, are very cheap to purchase. An average Senate seat costs 10 million, but you can win over sitting senators for less than that. The House is a trickier proposition thanks to sheer numbers, but all you really need to do make the whole thing work is to convince Republicans that abolishing a slavery era system and transitioning to a popular vote for major elections would totally own the libs. So sorry, not sorry, Hamilton. Not a fan anymore.
Fox News goes unexpectedly off air, citing existential difficulties. Time names you its person of the year. You decline that fair weather bullshit. So we could either fund NASA, double Amazon employee salary, support 10,000 artists, or pay back taxes to the EU.
And fuck Europe. I don't know. What do you feel like? What would you choose here? Because I know what I would choose already.
I feel
I
like
don't
I
want to sway
would.
your decision.
I feel like I would double the employee salary. That
Exactly. That's
example
what I
has
would
a
choose
lot.
as well. Because that was my
Cause
whole point with the electoral college. If we can just get some regular good old change up top, that can actually come down and help some people below. But in the meantime, let's get those people some money.
right on. Hell yeah. Uh, on you? Can't remember.
I just read, man, but I can read it. You double the median Amazon worker salary from poverty level 28,000 a year to 56,000 a year, much closer to the U.S. average, which is good. Your employees are able to lead lives with slightly more dignity. While you're at it, if you implement progressive policies, getting rid of timed bathroom breaks and those hilarious anti-union videos where you've been forcing your employees to watch, the cost of this to you is so negligible. It's not even going to model it. Man, it's not even going to model it. That's what it says.
No, I'm
Yeah,
not.
cool.
I'm not
What's
even
next?
gonna model.
I'm not even going to model it. All right, cool.
The squatter in the White House goes on an unhinged Twitter rant, branding you a communist, Democrat, fascist with small genitals who is ruining the economy. He calls for your execution.
Yikes.
We can't buy Twitter and delete his account, unfortunately.
Why
I
not?
think I did that on the first playthrough because we don't have enough money left.
Damn.
um, we could fund NASA. We can support the artists, or we could pay back taxes. EU.
Fuck. I want to buy his Twitter account and delete it. Let's support some artists then.
Let's do it. Save the arts. You sorry.
You spend 2 billion funding 10,000 artists in residence at various museums, universities, and uh, conservatories across The country. Each artist receives 50,000 a year for up to 4 years, allowing them to pursue creative endeavors unfettered by the oppressive shackles of capitalism. Your lawyers beg you to force the artist to wear a sponsored by Amazon badge on their shirts for every day of their residencies. It's the least artists can do, they argue, in exchange for your generosity. Uh, you fire these lawyers and use their retainer to fund, and use the retainer fees to fund a few more artists. Nice.
Bill and Melinda Gates send a kind yet concerned greeting card asking if perhaps you would like a little advice on how to spend money on poors, but in a moderate way. You burn it. Fund NASA for a year. Pay back taxes to EU. Do you hear something?
What do you hear?
A loud crack fills the room as finally your frantic family members and several bodyguards manage to break down the door to your bedroom. A few of your earlier relatives pin you down and take away your laptop. Please, Uncle Bezos, begs a doe-eyed child who is probably actually not your nibbling, crumbly, crumbly Ghibli tears falling down their cheeks as you are,
Ghibli, like Studio Ghibli.
yeah, as you are tied to a chair. You've left us with a mere 25,420,000,000 dollars, $100 million. Uh, Mother says we'll be ever so destitute if you do not cease your wretched spending. Do Jeff Bezos' extended family speak like Dickens characters? They do
I
here.
do hear.
What do you say to the child? Sit them down and patiently explain why being a billionaire is immoral? Or show them Twitter, they'll end up just as socialist and take less effort on your end? Kind of going with the Twitter one.
In my play, I showed them Twitter.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
did the other one in mine. I feel like the Twitter one probably ends better.
I do the Twitter one.
Uh, you'd love to show the child Twitter on your own, but tied up as you are, you're left pointing towards the nearest unattended phone with your big toe. You give your young relative a list of accounts to follow within 30 minutes. They're an expert on both the Communist Manifesto and pro wrestling.
It's true.
My work here is done. Back to spending Jeff Bezos' money.
You flex your shiny biceps as hard as you can. The ropes binding you to the chair literally burst into so many shreds of hemp. You stand, using a leg of the chair to beat back several bodyguards and distraught adult heirs. When you see a path open, you take it, fleeing into the city streets, armed only with your bathrobe, a phone, and a small laptop. After escaping onto the subway, you spare a quick glance at your bank account and find it's still too large for your tastes. So what do? Fund 10 animal rescues for 4 years, build 10 public libraries, finance 100 indie games, reboot Mythbusters, pay off 1,000 graduate student loans, fix Flint water crisis. Well, you know what the fuck I would say.
Fix the water crisis?
Yeah, fucking fix the water. Who gives a shit about the fucking animals when there's people fucking fix them? We can fix both of them. There's plenty of money. It's just help the people in Flint. It's ridiculous that shit's been going on this long. How are people this rich and just letting this shit go? It doesn't make
True.
sense.
You completely renovate the deteriorated water system of Flint, Michigan, freeing its residents from corporate serfdom to Nestle. This sets you back.
Nestle, what the fuck? Nestle?
There's a T in there.
You never had Nestle chocolate?
I had Nestle chocolate.
You never had Nesquik?
It's Nest. Wait. All right, whatever.
All right.
I'm not high enough. This sets you back all of $55 million, or less than the cost of a single SpaceX rocket. Literally, this should have happened years ago already.
Yep. You completely renovate the deteriorating. Oh, wait, nope. You hole up in a dimly lit cafe where no one will question why Jeff Bezos is here in his bathrobe working on a laptop. To help ensure their silence, you pay the college education of three baristas on duty, $303,000. You also tip well because labor should be adequately compensated regardless of whether a service worker goes the extra mile for you, $200. So, I already said fixed plant. What would you choose next? Or did you choose fixed plant? I don't know. Here's what I would choose: indie games, because I'm a selfish piece of shit. We need those indie games. We need them. We need
Sure,
we
why
need
not?
those indie games. We need them.
Let's be real. There are two kinds of independent games. The ones made by former AAA devs, which often run into the millions and usually require outside investment and stuff like this built in Twine. So
Talking about this
postulating
game.
postulating that you can fund 100 indie games for $1 million each is some wild ass math. But
Yeah.
let's let's say you fund 10 of those bigger games by industry veterans and use the rest to support 200 small indies. Or maybe you don't fund any Kickstarter games and instead donate every last cent to your favorite avant garde, glitch girl, whatever you want, babe. It's your Jeff Bezos's money. Take that, in the apocalypse.
A barista with a lip ring and an Imperator Furiosa tattoo brings you a second coffee. They tell you that what you're doing now doesn't make up for all the years that you, Jeff Bezos, has spent exploiting your workers and destroying rival businesses. You agree wholeheartedly, since it's not like they'll believe you if you explain you're just a rando stuck in Jeff Bezos's gross plastinated body. We still got these options here. We can reboot Mythbusters,
Do you
pay off
like
student
Mythbusters that
loans.
much?
I mean, student loans, if we're going to be selfish again,
Alright, let's do it.
but it's also up to you, bro.
The average graduate student has 57.6 $0.6 thousand in loan debt. Your friends are anything but average, of course, but you also probably don't have 1,000 of them. So 57.6 million should cover you either way, plus a few hundred strangers. You spend any leftovers organizing a game studio conference, including converting transportation and hotel expenses for all the speakers. Todd Harper does the opening keynote, and Maddie Bryce oversees the wine tasting session. No speakers over the age of 45.
Sirens outside. You've learned from the TV that there's a warrant out for your arrest for suspicion of fraud, which under the circumstances seems hilarious. Your barista ally what did it say? Shutter the blinds to the already darkened coffee shop. Decide to switch off the news and put on anime instead. Oh, that reminds you. Let's bankroll a second season of Monthly Girls. Nazaku-kun. I don't know what that is. Doesn't sound as important as Mythbusters or these animals, man.
I'm looking it up on the other screen. Yeah, it looks like one of those, uh, middle school anime, the hot guy series.
And what he has a harem of girls. You're like, oh my god, this hot guy. Can't believe.
um, so which one are you
Say those.
do it for the doggos? For $5 million a year, these aren't your run-of-the-mill animal shelters. These are full-featured rescues focused on providing for abused former circus animals and exotic pets. You know those videos testing whether tigers will sit in boxes and get high off catnip? That's the kind of rescue you're funding. Let the good times roll.
E. One of the baristas has given you away. You piece of shit. It was an accident. They forgot they left location data on while tweeting on the Bezos' Bay hashtag. Before you know it, you have the entire local police force at the cafe's front door. You scan your list for something quick to spend Jeff Bezos' money on while the baristas arrange for your escape through the back. There's time. There's time to reboot Mythbusters.
You really want to reboot Mythbusters? Nobody's gonna be using libraries anyways.
That's what I'm saying.
This isn't necessarily a good use of Jeff Bezos' money, but you really like the older seasons of Mythbusters that were basically Jackass for nerds. The golden area of Adam Savage burning off his eyebrows and sticking his mouth into vacuum motors. You reboot the series for a limited one-season run with the original cast. They air commercial free and subscription free on a bespoke online
Online
streaming
streaming
service.
service.
The show tests all the myths that were originally vetoed because of corporate meddling, like RFIDs in credit cards and hunting ducks with pumpkins. Anything left over from the 60 million budget will go towards reproducing that one time the Mythbusters blew up a cement truck with dynamite, now now properly captured on a high-speed camera. Science.
You and your barista accomplices race through the city's back streets, cannily avoiding police blockades and Amazon locker locations. Twice you were nearly cut down by weaponized delivery drones, but you managed to drive out of their firing range just in time. The drones record you as killed in action in their online tracking systems anyway, just buying you a precious few minutes. Hidden behind a dumpster, you find a barista with a lip ring to sustain a deep cut to their arm. What do? Use your clean as $100 bills to dress the wound, which costs $1,000, or promise to pay for the barista's hospital bills if it gets infected?
I dressed the wounds last time.
Yeah, I spend that money. I did the same thing, but we got to see.
You gotta see.
I mean, we could do either or, but I already know.
I want to see.
Yeah, I want to see.
You inform the Risa that you will fully cover the medical expenses. If that cuts gets any worse, give you a sour look and say nothing. Clearly, they aren't impressed.
Well,
Well,
fuck
okay.
you.
Let's try to reach the sewers.
There's no use. Sewers aren't actually all that spacious, and also manhole covers are really heavy. And you're just one fucking Jeff Bezos who's jacked. But actually, he should be able to open this. But I guess this game was made before he got jacked. So the police catch up to you while you were swearing and nursing your stubbed toe. Maybe you should have run out of your luxury apartment wearing something sturdier than slippers. You and your three barista allies are arrested on the spot. Whoops.
You and your college-age accomplices are each charged with resisting arrest, the most fascist bullshit charge.
Right?
Additionally, you are charged with one count of destabilizing capitalism, while the three baristas are charged with pirating anime. Bribe the cops to let the baristas go, or pay bail for baristas and everyone else in the city's jail system 227 million.
Let's get everybody out of there.
You pay the cash bail for the three coffee making accomplices, as well as the entire jail population of the city, about 12,000 people. The police, catching wise, put your own bail at an absolutely unheard of 24,720,000,000. I don't even know how to fucking do math. $96,800.
A lot. The remaining amount. All of the money that you have in your pocket.
24,720,096,800.
Yep.
There's no way anyone would pay that. Pay the bail, demand to see your lawyer.
Forget what I did at this point. You could just pay the bail. Just say fuck it, spend that money.
Well, apparently one person would pay a bail like that. And that person is you, Jeff Bezos. There's a bit more paperwork involved, and of course, a lot of waiting. But at the end of it, you are free. You walk down the front steps of the jail, brushing dirt off your bathrobe, bombarded left and right by cameras and journalists of every stripe. A car waits for you, not your own. It's Elon Musk's personal Tesla,
Ah,
and
shit.
he's very cross with you right now.
I
Get in the
guess we gotta
car.
get in the car. You ride in silence for several miles. So, Elon says at last, eyes straight ahead, voice even. That was hell of a bender you went on today, my friend. Were you expecting something to happen once you spent all of Jeff Bezos' money? Maybe you fucked it up by blowing everything you had left on your own well being rather than someone else. Maybe you're always doomed to remain in a gross middle aged man's body no matter what you did. Yeah, you say absently with Jeff Bezos' vocal cords. Don't worry, Elon Musk assures you. He sounds kind, empathetic. I have been in your shoes, the voice says. You wonder about the implications of that. You can totally start a GoFundMe to you now. Neutral end. Damn it. You should have talked to the lawyer.
Well, it's still an ending. We did it, and that only took twice as long as we thought it would.
Yeah.
So that was being Jeff Bezos. Again, we both got the good ending before we actually are. Spoiler alert: Elon Musk.
Yes.
Uh, so yeah, I think we saved Puerto Rico. Some other stuff, more benevolent things than saving Mythbusters. Um. All right. Cool. So yeah, let us know what you would have done with Jeff Bezos' money. What other things could we have spent this money that weren't in the game?
That's not selfish? I don't know. What did you have in mind?
Well, what I would do is fund a Nemo Joe show. Because if you want to solve the
Uh,
world's issues, you can help make the Nemo Joe show multi-billionaires by donating to our Patreon. Patreon.com/Nemo Joe Show.
and we'll be the world's first ethical billionaires.
The
We'll
first
figure it
ones,
out.
for sure. All right. I forgot to play the sound effect. This was the sound effect for the last one. Oh, there's a problem playing it.
Yeah, I can't hear it. Okay,
Just
there we
for
go.
playing games.
Oh, okay, wow. That came very late. It's a bit delayed there.
Which brings us nicely to our next segment. It's not legal. It's just ish. Oh god damn it! Why is it? um,
Today we're talking about blessing looms.
a blessed loom. So we're gonna watch this video, and we'll talk about this video. Police warn of blessing loom scam.
More people are looking for a little extra money during the COVID-19 pandemic, but sadly, more
I can't see
scams are also popping up.
You can't see what?
the video.
What do you see?
I don't see anything. I see a big old block messing up the screen. All right, go ahead, play the video.
All right.
Now, if you look in your feed, you see the scams maybe asking for some money and promising much more in return. But as 13 News Now reporter Nico Clemens reports, it's illegal if you participate.
If it seems too good to be true, it probably is.
A quick buck? Is it legit? That's the question many people across Hampton Roads asked themselves over the weekend when these blessing looms popped up on social media.
This would
Hampton
be classified
Roads.
as a pyramid scheme.
Unfamiliar with the blessing loom? Well, here's how it works. You pay money to join the loom using
Can you see
something
it?
like Cash App, but the goal is to get other
I'm
people
watching the
to
video
pay
myself.
and join too.
I can hear it.
Once they do, the person in the center cashes out and walks away with a couple $100s. To get paid, it requires you recruit others to join. But Hampton police say it's illegal. Sergeant Reggie Williams says under Virginia law, this is classified as a pyramid scheme.
It involves the exchange of money primarily for enrolling other people into the scheme without any other product or service being offered or delivered.
This is how Newport News Police breaks it down. Because pyramid schemes rely on new members to bring in money, the scheme often collapses when the pool of new recruits dries up. When the scheme finally does collapse, most of the people, except for the few at or near the
All right, I just want to pause it here real quick. So, if we look at this, that is a pyramid viewed from the top.
Yep.
It's just because it's not shaped like a pyramid doesn't mean it's not a pyramid scheme.
It's definitely a pyramid, just from a different angle.
Let's take a look at this image. Somebody kindly made depicting this. You see Dino's in the middle, and he gets Diana Guini, which is the next part of the loom. And then
Tiana
Tiana. Why can't
Markham.
these people just have normal names?
Hey. That's not right. Mark,
Well, Mark's here.
Denisha, Precious, Tasha, Kurt. As basic as you can fucking get. Kurt. Yeah, Heather, Kennedy. So all these other people at the bottom of the loom. So all these people will be brought in new. And they would give money. And when
it is
Dino
a pyramid.
collects, they would go to where Mark and Tiana are. And then so on and so forth.
Jeez.
And so it motivates everybody who's in the circle to
To be
find new
Dino.
people. Well, yeah, because if Dino decides to be a dickhead and dip out and not replenish his end, become purple again with Kennedy and Precious, then you've exploited the the circle pretty much.
Right.
So yeah,
Top.
so most people who get introduced to this is like, well, it's not a scam if you start your own. Like if you're the head, then no, you're not scamming anybody. It's not. That's what I've been seeing on the videos about this. But no, go ahead.
That's ridiculous because it totally is.
I know.
lose their money. A spokesperson says that the department investigates these pyramid schemes but has not received any reports regarding this one. Williams says anyone who participates could face a Class 1 misdemeanor charge.
We always encourage folks when you see something like this to slow down, think about it, do your research, and talk to someone you trust.
Why they got this guy on a phone? And a
Social
microphone next to the phone? This is the jankiest setup ever. We have a
That's
better
how they
setup
do
for
it.
this.
Well, that's how they do it professionally now. If you want to record somebody off of a phone, you put a mic next to the phone. You show the mic next to the phone to, visually show. It's like, hey, dude, we're doing our best. There's a reason why this audio sounds like garbage.
Jeez.
So, if you see one of these pop up on your social media feed again, don't fall victim. Just go the other way. In Newport News, Nico Clemens, 13 News Now.
That's in Virginia. Hampton Pirates.
All right, now we'll watch this 5-minute.
Oh, we're
TED
watching
lesson.
a whole. Jesus Christ. We're watching a.
Because this is how you spot a pyramid scheme.
Can we watch a 5-minute TED Talk, bro? What the fuck?
Yes.
We can just watch a full fucking 5-minute TED Talk.
It's not 20.
In 2004, a new company called Vima Nutrition started offering a life-changing opportunity
All these
to
splashes
earn
and shit.
full-time
This is
income
important.
for part-time work. Vima's offer was open to everybody, regardless of prior
Sound effects and
experience
shit,
or
motherfucker.
education. There were only 2 steps to get started earning. Purchase a $500 to $600 kit of their liquid nutrition products and recruit 2 more members to do the same. Vima
Sound familiar?
Nutrition
like
Company
any
grew
pyramid
quickly,
scheme.
becoming a global operation that brought in 30,000 new members per month at its peak. There was just one problem. While the company generated $200 million of annual revenue by 2013, the vast majority of participants earned less than they paid in. Vima was eventually charged with operating a pyramid scheme, a common type of fraud where members make money by recruiting more people to buy in. Typically, the founder solicits an initial group of people to buy in and promote the scheme. They are then encouraged to recruit others and promised part of the money those people invest, while the founder also takes a share. The pattern repeats for each group of new participants, with money from recent arrivals funneled to those who recruited them. This differs from a Ponzi scheme, where the founders recruit new members and secretly use their fees to pay existing members, who think the payments come from a legitimate investment. As a pyramid scheme grows, it becomes increasingly difficult for new recruits to make money. That's because the number of participants expands exponentially. Take a structure where each person has to recruit 6 people to earn a profit. The founder recruits 6 people to start, and each of them recruits 6 more. There are 36
music is so
people in that
aggressive.
second round of recruits, who then each recruit 6 people. A total of 216 new recruits. By the 12th round of recruiting, the 2.1 billion newest members would have to recruit over 13 billion more people total to make money, more than the entire world population. In this scenario, the most recent recruits, over 80% of the scheme's participants, lose all the money they paid in. And in real life,
sound effects are
many
aggressive.
earlier joiners lose out too. Pyramid schemes are illegal in most countries, but they can be difficult to detect. They're presented as many different things, including gifting groups, investment clubs, and multi-level marketing businesses. The distinction between pyramid schemes and legitimate multi-level marketing can be particularly hazy. In theory, the difference is that the members of the multi-level marketing companies primarily earn compensation from selling a particular product or a service to retail customers, while pyramid schemes primarily compensate members for recruitment of new sellers. In practice, though, many multi-level marketing companies make it all but impossible for members to profit purely through sales. And many pyramid schemes, like Vima Nutrition, disguise themselves as legal multi-level marketing businesses, using a product or service to hide the pay and recruit structure. Many pyramid schemes also capitalize on already existing trust within churches, immigrant communities, or other tightly knit groups. The first few members are encouraged to report a good experience before they actually start making a profit. Others in their network follow their example, and the schemes balloon in size before it becomes clear that most members aren't actually profiting. Often, the victims are embarrassed into silence. Pyramid schemes entice people with the promise of opportunity and empowerment, so when members don't end up making money, they can blame themselves rather than the scheme, thinking they weren't tenacious enough to earn the returns promised. Some victims keep trying, investing in multiple schemes and losing money each time. In spite of all these factors, there are ways to spot a pyramid scheme. Time pressure is one red flag. Be wary of directives to act now or miss a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Promises of large
Recently got a thing from High Times to invest in the High Times. I don't know
Like,
why.
bro.
Did you get that email?
No, I did not, or at least I didn't pay attention to it.
life-altering amounts of income are also suspect. And finally, a legitimate multi-level marketing business shouldn't require members to pay for the opportunity to sell a product or service. Pyramid schemes can be incredibly destructive to individuals, communities, and even entire countries. But you can fight fire with fire by sending this video to 3 people you know and encouraging them to do the same.
Or by
While
including
we're
the
at
entire
it, here are a
video on your
couple
podcast.
other things we can help you keep an eye out for.
Hopefully, at least 3 people listen to this podcast. I'm kind of interested in some of these other ones. And this
We
one over
we
here.
cannot watch these for the fucking podcast.
But I want to know how David Blaine held his breath for 17 minutes.
Well, fuck that guy. We could figure that shit out later. We got other topics.
Okay, well, so that's some information there. Let's look at a list of multi-level marketing companies.
That should have been a name at the top of this topic. Well, that was some information there.
So these are companies that have a similar structure, right? So you might know some of these, right? Mary Kay, Market America, whatever that means.
Beachbody,
Beachbody.
OmniLife.
Barefoot Books, which doesn't make sense.
Why would books
Amway.
have feet?
Amway Global. Nexium, which is the branding one. The chick from Smallville.
Is that not Elon Musk's next child?
OmniLife. Primerica, which I've had experience with. You're gonna throw them under the bus. Fuck them.
America, fuck yeah.
They sell life insurance through a MLM.
What is Wakaya Perfection?
Canadian.
Oh,
Wakaya
Fiji
Island,
water.
Fiji. Really? Sell Fiji water?
I didn't
Nice.
know he was Canadian.
I didn't know they're multi-level marketing. But anyways, be on the lookout. Fuck this kind of business model. Don't fucking work for these people. I don't give a shit. And these are the ones that were actually fucking ended up in the shithole because of their fucking schemes. Right, here's Equinox International, dissolved in 2001.
Wait, is that the gym?
Maybe it was like an early iteration of it. So I know they've been around for longer than that. Metabolife, dissolved in 2005. Some of these actually better were placed in an administration 2018. Shut down as pyramid scheme by FTC. Burn Lounge. Yeah. Holiday Magic.
The
1970.
fuck is Holiday Magic?
I guess they sell holiday shit. But yeah, be on the lookout. Don't fall for this shit. Waste your time, waste your money.
I mean, the first circle is always people you trust, and then everybody outside of that is like someone that you trust less. So imagine that process extrapolating further and further.
After 12 iterations, you run out of people.
And
Fucking, have you ever had an encounter with any of these companies or similar fucking games?
well, I do see Cutco on there. I did sell Cutco knives for like imaginary because I actually never sold any of the knives. I went to the seminar and I got the knives for myself. And then I sold the knives to my mom because she already had Cutco knives because my uncle had sold Cutco knives. And the Cutco knives are actually really good. Like they're actually some really good fucking knives. Not gonna lie, and that's not brainwashing from the fucking
Right,
seminar.
but you only need
They're
one
good,
set.
they're good knives. That's what I'm saying. You only need one. And they were placed a set for you anyway. So it's like you really just need one set and that's it. Like I don't know. You don't need all these knives.
What I do with all these knives?
They're like, here's this whole set of knives. We can do all these things with the knives. It's like, dude, I just want to cut my steak or something, you know? It's like, I mean, but the crazy thing is the knives are effective. It's a conundrum because you kind of just want to have dumb shit, and knives are really good dumb shits to have.
Now
Like, I
feel
have
like
a
I
knife
need
to fillet my
knives.
fish. I know, so stop making me talk about Cutco. See, that's what I'm saying. The seminar is pretty effective.
All right, yeah, I went through similar things with Primerica. I got certified to sell life insurance when I was like 18. Fucking went to their seminars, drank the Kool-Aid, kind of felt high off it a little bit. And even when I was there, and that was my first experience with it, I felt like something was a little off with it. I
Yeah.
felt like there's no way all these people are going to be making that much money. The money that they're talking about. Like
I'm saying
5
making
people on
Scarface
stage.
money with these fucking knives.
Yeah.
Or
It's
Scarface
ridiculous.
money with his health insurance premium.
Not cool. Not cool. And when I tried to sell it to a few people and they're like, "No, this is a fucking pyramid scheme," you know, then I was like, you
How
know
dare
what?
you?
They're kind of onto something. Yeah, these kind of companies they prey on the vulnerable with a sense of community, much like a cult.
Yep.
Emo, you have
The
any
cult,
party? You have
the
any parting
occult,
words?
the occult. You think it's magic? You think they're using magic to sell their knives, Joe?
Yes, they use magic, occult magic, but not even the good one. Doing some weird hand pat shit. Okay.
But but yeah, keep safe, protect your money and your community. You gotta stay frosty. Because I play Call of Duty. That's something that I say all the time.
You know what that's from? Originally,
Nah, what is it from?
apparently, I think it's like Predator or Alien, one of those movies.
One of those Alien Predator movies.
All right, that brings us to our next topic. Smarter than smart. That's legally how much you're allowed to play in that sound effect. So yeah, electric sight. Blind people could see letters that scientists drew on their brains with electricity. It's from a Live Science article that came out 5 days ago. Whenever you're listening, it was 5 days before then. Okay, so scientists sent patterns of electricity coursing across people's brains, coaxing their brains to see letters that weren't there.
The experiment worked in both sighted people and blind participants who had lost their sight in adulthood, according to the study published May 14th in the journal Cell. Although the technology remains in its early days, implanted devices could potentially be used in the future to stimulate the brain and somewhat restore people's visions.
Known as visual prosthetics, implants were placed on the visual cortex and then stimulated in a pattern to trace out shapes that the participants could then see. More advanced versions. more advanced.
Because there's quotes, so I know why you said it like that.
Well, because it's not C, like it's not like C, but it's like C. It is C. It is quotable.
It is. No, it's written. It's not wrong.
More advanced versions of these implants could work similarly to cochlear implants, which stimulate nerves on the inner ear with electrodes to help enhance the wearer's hearing ability.
Enhanced.
Electrode, like the Pokemon.
Yeah. The study authors crafted the letters by stimulating the brain with electrical currents, causing it to generate so-called phosphorin, tiny pinpricks of light that people sometimes perceive without any actual light entering their eyes. Unlike when light bounces off an object in a room, enters your eyes, phosphorin appears as a quirk of the visual processing system. You see these points of light, even though you're not
You
actually
didn't do the
there.
quote.
What do you mean? I said see. Isn't that not the quote? For instance, you may have seen phosphorin when rubbing your eyes in a dark room, a phenomenon often described as seeing stars, the author said.
The team laid an array of electrodes over the visual cortices of 5 study participants, 3 sighted and 2 blind. Specifically, the electrodes sat over a region of the brain known as V1, where information from the retinas gets funneled for early processing. The sighted individuals were already undergoing surgery to have electrodes implanted in their brains as part of an epilepsy treatment, designed to monitor the brains for seizure activity. The blind individuals had participated in a separate study investigating visual prosthetics and had the electrodes implanted at that time.
They hypothesized that by sweeping an electrical current across several electrodes, they could trace patterns onto the surface of the brain and thus generate recognizable shapes. The brain is uniquely tuned to detect changes in our environment, so they theorized that the organ should track a pattern of phosphorine presented one after the other.
So, we're going to watch a video that shows that.
Is it also 10 minutes?
See things that weren't actually there. By sending electrical currents over the surface of people's brains, scientists were able to get them to see things that weren't actually there. These scientists are working to develop what are known as visual prosthetics, which in the future could be devices implanted in the brain that help to restore people's vision after they've lost their sight. In this particular study, they implanted an array of electrodes, which transfer electrical currents into tissues, onto the surface of the visual
I thought this was only 45 seconds. I fucked up.
cortex,
How long is this
which
video?
is located at the very back of the
3
brain.
minutes.
And that
My
is
bad.
a region of the brain where
Jesus
visual
Christ, bro.
information
But I feel like she's reading everything that we read.
gathered from your eyes typically gets funneled for early processing. Scientists have known that by stimulating specific points of the
All right,
visual
I just wanna
cortex,
see
you
this
can generate. We can see one of
Here we
the
go.
participants in the
It's
study.
like Black
He has had
Mirror.
electrodes implanted on the surface of his brain under the skull, but it's being
skull.
stimulated by that device you see on top of his baseball cap. When the device is stimulated, the idea is that this electrical current is being sent through a flurry of electrodes in the shape of a letter that the participant will then draw on the touch screen in front of them. Now, the letter has to be slightly manipulated when it's traced onto the brain because the visual information that enters our eyes is reflected and flipped upside down, and then our brain makes sense of it later. So that's how these letters are drawn on the brain, and the participant, as you can see, is drawing them the correct way around. This study included both.
I'm not dyslexic. Everyone else is dyslexic. All right, this is what this proves. So yeah, what do we think this kind of technology could mean for in the future? Besides, obviously, sight for the blind.
I don't even know, man.
I
Just
think it could.
sight for the blind, man.
There was an old Jetsons episode, the old Hanna-Barbera cartoon, about the White family in the future. That where Elroy, the little Aryan boy, would he would plug in cartridges into his bed, and that would like determine what dreams he would have. That he can go on like a fantasy adventure, or yeah. Well, I wouldn't say space adventure because they were already the fucking Jetsons.
I mean, yeah, at that point, it's just an adventure.
But he could like put in a cartridge of what it was like to be in quarantine in 2020 and experience what our life is now. He probably would start a podcast in that dream.
Probably would.
Oh man. Yeah, so I think that's potentially, I don't know if it's exactly the same thing, but I think one day we'll be able to play video games when we're sleeping. That'll be very good use of our sleep.
Dreams can come to new movies, man. It's the full immersion, man. You'll just be in that shit, man. You can share a dream. You can record a dream and share a dream. And make songs about dreaming with people. Anything's
True.
possible, man. Welcome
Uh,
to my TED Talk, man.
Great. So that's some science for you. That brings us to our next topic.
Market crotch. Facebook buys Giphy.
Hold on.
I know. I'm trying to. What do you call it?
Business. Numbers. Is this working?
This is our business section, if you couldn't tell.
Yes. Business.
So, Facebook is buying popular GIF making and sharing website Giphy for a reported price of $400 million. It plans to integrate the massive GIF library into Instagram and other Facebook apps. News of the deal was first reported by Axios, which revealed the $400
Million.
value of the deal.
Instagram, the main Facebook app, Facebook Messenger, and WhatsApp all already work with the service. According to Facebook, 50% of all Giphy's traffic comes from its apps, with half of that coming from Instagram alone.
People will still be able to upload GIFs. Developers and API partners will continue to have the same access to Giphy's APIs, and Giphy's creative community will still be able to create great content. Vishal Shah, Instagram's VP of product, said in a blog post announcing the news.
Numerous services rely on Giphy's API for supplying GIFs, including Twitter, Pinterest, Slack, Reddit, Discord, and more. What could this mean for the future?
So, like, platforms that aren't owned by Facebook, what does it mean for those kind of things?
What do you think? Facebook's going to be a dick and shut everybody out and make Giphy only for
Well, they're saying they're not going to
Facebook?
do that now. But what could it also mean for, Facebook has a reputation, and if Giphy's associated with that reputation,
What do you think? Russia's going to start using Giphy to sabotage the elections and all this kind of shit like that?
I don't know. Maybe people wouldn't want to use it. But I think if people are looking for gifts, they're just going to use whatever gifts are quickest available to them.
They're going to use what's integrated, yeah. But I mean, if Giphy gets all sanitized or, for the sake
Facebook
of
Hub.
marketing, well, that's what I mean for the purpose of marketing. The same thing that happened to Tumblr and stuff like that, throwing in a bunch of ads, censoring everything, all that kind of stuff. Which Giphy already is pretty. Nope, never mind. I'm going to take that back immediately. But no, if that happens to Giphy, then another service will just come up and replace it. It's not like Giphy's doing anything super, super nuts or wild. I don't think. They just have a lot of good connections.
Right on.
So, I mean, big whoop. Something else will come and replace it.
Right on. Which slides us smoothly into our next segment. Which will be funnier in a second. I can remember to reload these things.
The memes.
This is Danktown. Bug Life
Wait.
Fleshlight.
Oh, Jesus Christ. You're going to show this?
Can we not?
You're going to show this, Joe? Fine, go.
Should we not?
Let's do it.
All right. Austin-based artist Malik Lazary is selling a fleshlight case with a silicone molded Heimlich from the 1998 Pixar movie A Bug's Life on Craigslist and eBay. Both postings pricing are set at $2,000. So far, the eBay listing has 0 bids.
Oh,
It
big
does-
surprise.
It does, in fact, have 0 bids, and the campaign has ended.
Oh, wow, no way.
So he posted this video.
Guys, I'm actually super excited today because I have something super special to show you. This is kind of the holy grail when it comes to promotional items, but let me just get right to it.
How's that a
This
promotional
is
item?
an
My
original
God.
limited edition Bugs Life Heimlich fleshlight from the movie Bugs Life. Came out during its release. They probably only released a couple dozen of them, but you know, it's a genuine article. I mean, it's silicone, gently used, light wear. It has the ticklers. You know, oftentimes you'll see them, and the ticklers have fallen off or been, misused. But yeah, here it is, guys. I mean, that's the holy grail. Don't sleep on that bad boy.
Flashlights go back to 1998, or is he just making that up?
No, obviously it's obviously he just built that in his like. Look at the table it's on. He just finished spray painting it.
This is an
Shit. But I'm just saying, is that just a fake fact that he threw out? I mean, the whole thing's strange, Joe. Strange.
But what other character should be turned into sex toys?
None. People shouldn't be fucking bugs in the mouth.
It's not an actual bug. It's a
Look,
caricature
if
with
you
a
want to
human
do that,
voice and human emotions.
look, I'm not gonna judge your kinks. If you want to do that, do that. Just it just doesn't seem like that's not a thing people want to do, at least for $2,000.
I kind of thought about buying it, but I need to save my money.
You would have
It's
spent
also not.
$2,000.
It's not functioning. It doesn't go deep. I read the specs on. It's just for show. It's not for fucking. It's funny because his face looks like a fleshlight. That's why it's funny. It's a pun in a physical form.
Shaking my head. Shaking my head.
All right, well, let's pretend that last segment never happened. And move on to our final segment. Let me just finish loading. Cats and doggos. Or dogs.
Goats in the streets. On Tuesday evening, a giant stampede of nearly 200 goats made its way to the streets after they broke the board of an electric fence, escaped goat quarantine.
This was in East San Jose. Go watch this video.
It's a lot. We're not watching the whole minute of this though, because I'm hearing static.
So, look closely, there's a dog that's trying to herd these sheep.
Hey.
And they're just eating people's fucking flowers.
That's a lot of goats. How many goats is that, Joe?
200. Look at this dog. Look at this dog trying to fucking herd them. Doing a good job, too. White people problems. So, I actually know these goats. Or another goat squad. They eat the grass near my job during the
Right.
spring. And I see them on my way to work. How do we respond to these goats taking over our streets?
I mean, it's a good way to mow the lawn, bro. You can actually get a tax break doing it that way. And you're solving your weed problem in a natural, holistic way. And the goats' steps and the doo-doos help grow the land better. It's all good. It's the ideal way to do shit.
Right on. But I think it's more expensive to have a bunch of goats than it is to have a vacuum cleaner, no? Or a
Nah.
lawnmower. however grass cutting works.
Because of the tax break or the government grants, basically you get is basically, it's cheaper to do it that way. They do it. That's how they do it up in Palos Verdes. It just becomes an issue of hurting them, I guess.
Right
Which
on.
seems to be an issue with these guys going down the street.
Yeah, or fucking up. They could like headbutt your car or something.
Yeah, because a lot of goats. There's a lot of goats running fast.
All right, that was the last topic we had. A very exciting episode of the Nemo Joe Show.
Just a 5-minute YouTube video.
A
Please
science
stay.
lecture.
Please stay till the end. We have another 30-minute TED Talk on why you should wash your cat's paws.
Thank you for joining us. As always, find us on SoundCloud, YouTube,
Apple Music, iHeartRadio.
Twitch for live shows, and on Twitter. Follow us. Facebook. Follow us. Yeah, don't join any scams. Check the goats. Don't be fucking bugs.
And make Nemo Joe Show the first ethical billionaires.
We will spend it. Spend it wisely.
As we have proven to you with this exercise.
We will bring back Mythbusters. Final season. Yeah, if you do feel like donating, that's patreon.com/Nemo Joe Show. You can access to our Discord, as well as
so many memes.
All the best.
Tremendous memes.
Tremendous. As always.
Nice.
Wu-Tang.
Wu-Tang.